now live on 3 platforms. We're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, we are live on YouTube, and I want to welcome you all to be here. As you know, I've been doing these live events, and the purpose is to serve you, to help you create anything that you desire in your life. I really believe that's why I've been put on this planet. Looking hello, Swiss Miss. It's always fun to see some familiar faces as well. I'm back home now. If you've been someone who's been joining me on a number of my calls, you may have noticed that I was doing some of those calls out of the country, and I flew home last night. And as they say, there is no place like home. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see my own bed and to wake up in my own home. I've been away since the 25th of December, and it is now the 4th of February. So hello, 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 hello. Good to see you here. So the purpose of today is to address any questions that you may have. Hello. And to also talk about the language of success and speaking words that are in harmony only with the goods that you desire. We just wrapped up a 2-day live event, and was co-delivering with a good friend of mine, a very accomplished individual, a Hollywood award-winning, Academy Award-winning producer. And he's in the entertainment business. I am not necessarily in the entertainment business. We're in two different types of businesses. He lives in the United States. I live here in Canada. And we delivered an event called Masters Manifesting. We will be doing another one. As a matter of fact, I'm looking to secure a location here to do one in Ottawa in May. And right now we've got tentative dates set for the weekend of May 9th and the 10th. It's called Masters Manifesting, and it was a phenomenal event. So we'll let you guys know about that as we get closer. But for now, mark those dates down. Thank you, Celine. Celine was there, of course. She was our master of ceremonies, our master of everything. And so Celine marked down May 9th and 10th. Hopefully those dates work for you and Eric as well. And so great to be back with you guys. So the reason why I wanted to talk today about the language of success, by the way, I want to say hello to my friends here on YouTube as well. And Heather's here, and Celine, Genevieve, Christina, welcome you guys. So on the weekend when we were delivering the content from Masters Manifesting, myself along with Phil Goldfine, one of the things that I noticed about Phil, and I've known Phil now for a number of years, but one of the things that I noticed about his great strength is his ability to notice when people are saying things that are not in harmony with the things that they desire, or not in harmony with producing great results. So as an example of that, and I want you to think about yourself, okay? We're here to talk about you. I want you to think about yourself and the language that you use when you're talking about your goals or when you're talking about things that you would love. Are you saying things like, this never works for me, or I'm so frustrated, or anything in that vein, in the vein of it doesn't work, or it's not working for me, or you're not getting the right results, or because this happened to you in your life, or anything that's negative. And I'm pretty sure that everyone has dialogue. And I say everyone, myself included, Phil Goldfine included. We even noticed each other's language while we were sharing the stage together at our Masters Manifesting event. But pretty much everyone that I know, and I'm going to include my mentor as well, Bob Proctor, have language that aren't or isn't in alignment with the goods that they desire. And the reason why I want to mention it, things like Celine says, or I'm trying. There's no trying. There's either you're doing it or you're not, right? But a lot of people want to hold on to their story, and they hold on to their story, their past, as if it's something that they're thinking is a life preserver. But in fact, it's like holding on to a dead weight when you're in the water. It will bring you down. It'll absolutely destroy everything in its path. It is destructive to speak negatively. It is destructive. Even if you talk about, well, this isn't going to work for you because of whatever reason, something that happened in your past, you're not educated enough, you're not in the right country, you don't know how to do it, whatever it happens to be. So I'm going to suggest to you to really become consciously aware of the things that you're saying. Now, I have often even noticed in questions that I'll see on social media where people will ask a question, and inside the question, it's evident that their language is a reflection of what they're thinking and what they're feeling. So when we speak words, it's coming through us. It's coming through our own filter. And so when you say things, whatever you're speaking about, you want to speak confidently, and you can practice this. This is just something that's a lot of fun to do. You want to practice speaking confidently and with certainty. So if you're talking about something, let's say you want to take a trip somewhere, and it's maybe a pretty amazing trip. You want to go to Hawaii. I was just actually on the phone with one of my clients, and they were telling me that their intention is to go to Hawaii for an entire month. And that's wonderful. But here's something else I've noticed. People will talk about their goals, but they'll talk about it sheepishly, meaning they'll say something like, yeah, we'd like to go to Hawaii for a month. Now, this couple didn't do it, but anyways, I think you're getting the point, right? So they speak about it as if it's something that they'd like, but you can clearly see that there's doubt there. There's no conviction. There's no confidence that they're actually going to be going to Hawaii and enjoying a month in Hawaii. And so I really want you to think about, whenever you're talking about something, a goal that you have. Just a few minutes ago, probably about 20 minutes ago, before we got on our call here today, one of my friends dropped by. And it was a friend of ours, a friend of my husband and mine, who had stayed in our house while we were away for 5 weeks. And he accidentally took the garage door opener with him. And so he brought it back this afternoon. And we were talking about some of the plans that we have, my husband and I have, for the very near future. And he had asked me about them, and I had told him about it. And this is another goal where I'm stretching myself, and delighted to do so. And he said something a little bit later in the conversation. Oh, that's right. You're doing that. And when he said that, it was like confirmation that when I communicated with him that we were going to be doing this, that I had no doubt whatsoever. And you may find that this process of getting to the point of having no doubt and having that confidence may take some time. So if you start talking about how you're going to write a best-selling book, or how you're going to create a business that's generating $1 million in a month, or how you're going to buy your dream home, but you notice that when you're speaking about it, you're not saying it with the conviction or with the faith, I want you to become really aware of that, and to focus on speaking about these things with the conviction, with the knowing that it is already done. Does that make sense? Actually, Celine, who's on this call, we were in Sarasota, Florida last Friday. We had a planning session with our team, and Celine came over and she was talking about real estate. And I hope Celine's probably fine with me sharing this with you guys, because I shared it from the stage at our event as well. And she said there was a section near where we were staying where they had these big, thank you, Celine, these big, enormous homes, like multi-million-dollar homes right on the water, right on the Gulf of Mexico. And she said something like, she was thinking of going to see them, but the way that she said it was not said with conviction. And that's fine. It's like there's almost like a stage that you go through, or a process that you go through when you first start talking about something, until it gets to a point where you really believe it. And that's fine. You got to know that all of this success happening, all of this manifestation process, everything that you desire in your life, there's going to be a process or stages that you're going to go through until you get to the point where you know with certainty that it is already done. When I think back to a number of years ago, when I first became a Hay House author, and Hay House is a publishing house that's based out of Carlsbad, California. It was founded by Louise Hay. And they've published 4 of my books, by the way. But I remember going to speak at one of the I Can Do It events that was being held in a giant conference center in San Diego. And I remember walking into the conference center, and it's a big conference center if you've ever been to the conference center in San Diego. And I remember walking into the building, and I was on my own at the time, and I was arriving early because I was going to be speaking at their conference called I Can Do It. And they were expecting 5,000 people to come to this event. And I remember walking in the door of the conference center, and I looked up. And the reason I looked up is because Hay House had put these giant banners. I mean, they were huge. They were probably 6 feet, maybe 10 feet long, these giant banners. And they were all streamed across the entranceway, and they were way up high. And they were a banner with Louise Hay's picture, and a big banner with Wayne Dyer, and then another one with Doreen Virtue, and another one with Greg Braden, and then another one with Peggy McColl. And I remember walking in the building, And seeing that and thinking, wow, I mean, it was impressive. I mean, the building is impressive on its own. And Hay House, whenever they do anything, they do it very professionally and with a lot of finesse and a lot of style. And so I walked in the building and I looked up and I saw Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer and Doreen Virtue and Greg Braden and then Peggy McColl. And it made me stop in my tracks. Well, actually didn't make me stop in my tracks. See, I just noticed my language. I stopped in my tracks and I looked up. And I just had this incredible pattern, this old belief that just started to reveal itself. And it said something like, what are you doing here? And I had to really recognize what was going on in that moment. It was an old paradigm, a destructive, negative paradigm that was saying I wasn't worthy to be there. But I just noticed it for an instant, just for a moment. The reason why I mention that is it's important to notice whenever any paradigms pop up, even if it's just for a single moment, you've got to be aware of them. And you want to be aware of them so that you can squash them instantly. You want to get rid of them. You want to change that belief over to something that's going to support you and empower you. So when I saw that poster with all these several posters with all these incredible accomplished people, and my poster was up there too, I just looked at it, had that fleeting thought for a moment and just said, no, you have earned your way here. And so when we're talking about words that we're using and the language that we're using, we also have to notice our thoughts too, because if the words are coming out of our mouth, it's because they're based on a thought. Now, they may also come from a feeling as well, but either way, you really want to pay attention because at any given moment, you are creating. You're creating right now. In this very moment, you are creating. Whether you're accepting or rejecting the ideas that I'm saying, you are in a creative or destructive mode. So my recommendation is to get on the side of creation and really put focused attention only on the things that you desire. That's what you want to be doing in everything that you speak, in the words that you're thinking, in the way that you're feeling, in your actions, in everything that you're doing. You want to be focusing on become consciously aware. Am I focusing right now in this moment on what I desire? And if so, great. If not, change it. Switch over to focus only on what you desire. Okay, we've got a number of questions that have been submitted in advance. I'm going to head on over to those questions now and address them. The first one was from Jan, and this is a great question, Jan. So thank you very much for submitting the question in advance. The question that Jan is asking is the following. Oh, by the way, Amy Nicholas has a question on here too. So we'll get to Amy's question. So Celine, it's on Instagram if you want to grab that one and bring it over to the WhatsApp application and I'll see it there. So what we do here, just so you can understand behind the scenes, I've got 3 platforms going right now: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And Celine had accepted questions in advance. She sent them to me in a file. I'm looking at that file. But while we're on these calls, she's gathering the questions. She's on it. She said she's gathering these questions and she's sending them to me in an app so I can see them there as well. So that's what we're doing here. The two of us are little machines. So this is Jan's question. How do I feel it now as if it's already happened? All right, so Jan's talking about a goal that she has for herself. I'm just going to stand up. I just love standing up. I have more energy in my body when I stand up. How do I feel now as if it's already happened? So for everyone that's on the call, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or you're watching this as a recording, because we always record it, I want you to think about something that you would love, like a goal, a really exciting goal, something that you would absolutely love to have in your life. It could be your income. It could be a dream home. It could be a relationship. It could be your physical body, something, anything that you would absolutely love. I want you to think about it right now. Okay, think about it. Have you got it? Okay, I got mine. I'm doing it with you. While you're doing it, I'm doing it. All right, so now think about that goal and think about it being fulfilled. It's already done. That goal is done. All right, it's accomplished. You've accomplished it. What does it feel like? Now, everyone that's on the call right now, type in your answers, the words, type it in on Facebook, type it in on Instagram. I just want to go over here on Facebook and see if I can, hang on here a second. Oops, that's okay. I've got a different computer that I'm using on Facebook. So how does it feel? How does that feel now that your goal has manifested in your life? Now, what are we doing in this experiment or in this experience? What we're doing is we're imagining. So there we go. Swiss Miss says, amazing. So what did you do? You imagined it was done, right? That's how you just tap into your imagination. It's okay. There we go. Is it Henya says blessed, relieved, free, perfect, satisfying, says Megan. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys getting involved. So when you connect to how it feels, relaxing, says Celine. I like that. That's, for me, it feels exciting. I feel grateful. I feel relief in some ways. So when you're connecting to the emotional experience or the emotional state as if it's already done, you've now put yourself in vibrational alignment. Now, what happens is a lot of people think, well, this has got to be a lot more complicated than that. It's not. It's not more complicated than that. What's challenging for many, many people is they don't stay there. You might do it for a minute. You might do it for a minute right here with me right now, but you're not going to stay there. And if you don't stay there, you're not going to manifest it, because in that moment you're creating, but the next moment you're destroying. And then the next moment you're destroying. So the moment you start to think, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that, or that's not going to happen, or this is, isn't going to unfold the way I like it. It's destructive. So you've got to stay connected to that outcome as if it's already here. And that's what every one of you can do. Now, you can do that with your Power Life script. Okay, a Power Life script. So go to powerlifescript.com. If you don't have one, get one. It'll program your subconscious mind so you are in alignment. It'll strengthen you. It'll cause you to feel that alignment. Or you could ask yourself a question. The moment you get out of alignment, just say, what would I love? What would I love? Or remember what that goal is, or look at your goal card again, because I always carry a goal card. So as Carly says, yes, staying there is the key. Absolutely. Hen says, I love your Power Life script. Thank you. I love it too. And Angela over here on YouTube says she feels free. Jean-Biev says, awesome, fantastic, comforting. Heather says, magnificent. I can breathe. She's excited. Awesome. So what you want to be doing daily, all throughout your day, is you want to put yourself almost like a robot, habitually into the state of your wish fulfilled. All right. You're going to do it. Tell me you're going to do it. Please tell me you're going to do it. That's the blissful state. All right. That's the state of creation. That is where you want to be when you are manifesting. Okay, so do that. That's how you do it. So the question was asked, Jan asked, how? That's how. But what happens is some people hear that and they're going, well, that can't be it. They just dismiss it because they think it's too simple or overly simple. It is simple. It's not easy because we're such habitual creatures. But you got to get yourself into the habit of doing this. And I know myself, I've been studying personal development now for 41 years. 41 years. That's probably more years than what some of you have even been on this planet. And for many, many, many years, I didn't even realize what I wasn't doing or was doing. And, I would be creating, that I'd be destroying, that I'd be creating, that I'd be destroying. It's like, finally, after studying this material for around 14 years, I decided I need to get serious about this and really put it into practice. And that's when you start to see the results. All right. That's when you start to experience the real transformation, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. You've got to be patient with yourself, and you've got to be patient with the process as well. All right, there's a whole bunch of questions coming in, so let me get back to those. So Jennifer is saying, I have a job opportunity in Southern California. I've already had 3 interviews and now moving to the 4th and the last interview in person. Can you suggest of the thoughts and the feelings I should have? I want the interview to transition to an offer letter, then see it as if it's already done. Just know that it's already done. That job is yours. Put it on a business card, write your name with whatever that company is. If you already have a business card, make one up. I did this with a job that I wanted. Back in the 1980s, I had secured a job with a company called Toshiba. It's a large Japanese company around the world. And I was hired as their national marketing manager. And I was working for a division that was actually merging with 2 other divisions. And so there was a very seasoned guy that was working there who was obviously going to get, and it was obvious to them and everyone else, that this guy was going to get the marketing manager job. So I was looking to move within the company. I liked working with Toshiba. That was back in the 80s. So they started a division that was based on smart card technology. way ahead of its time. But I love technology. I love it when the changes in technology. I'm not a technical person, but I do love what technology can do for us, right? For this world. And so I went over to the division. I physically walked over to where that division was in the office building where I was working, which was way at the other end of a giant building. And I took the business card of someone that was working in that division. And what I did was I whited out their name and I put my name on the business card. And then I saw myself working in that division. It was a division called the Information Products Division. So I saw Toshiba, Canada, and my name and the division, the Information Products Division. And so what happened was, and this is kind of a fascinating unfoldment, what happened was the gentleman that I took his card, he ended up getting fired. And I got his job. I wasn't looking for his job. I was looking for a job in that division. And I ended up getting his job. Very odd, very strange. And I'm sure it was good for him too. He went off to do something else that, was more suitable for him. But that's how I actually got the job. So for you, Jennifer, make up a business card, see yourself do a signature just for you, something that allow you to visualize that that's where you're working. Start to look for a place to live. If it's somewhere, sounds like it's not where you're living now. So start to look for where you're going to live. Let people know you're moving. Let people know that this job is yours. Really believe it. Strengthen that within you. Really believe it's already done and know that it's already done. The next question we have is from Cindy. Cindy says, where's the best place to start when you're truly in dire straits? Thank you, Cindy, for asking. And I love that you're asking. The best place to start is by asking for help, which is what you're doing, and then taking action. So I would suggest for you, Cindy, is we have a number of free resources. And hang on a sec. I'm just going to look for a link here. Oh, I got that little round ball that's going on. There we go. Okay, good. All right. We have a link with a number of resources. And this was something that we set up for an event that we were doing with Bob Proctor. And it's actually, this one page has 4 books that you can download. So go to this page. And this isn't one that we normally give out. The only reason why I'm mentioning it now is because you're looking for some support and for some help. So if you go to peggyandbob.com, you'll see all 4 books, or there's 4 books that we are giving away that are free, that you can go to that page and you can download them. Go into there, download the books and study and apply what you're learning. So one of the books that you'll be given access to is a book called The Power Life Script Quick Study Guide. So make sure you download that one, all the others as well, and study and apply what I suggest that you do. So peggyandbob.com. All right. Thank you. Okay. The next question that we have is a question from Kathy. She says, what is a good affirmation to bring in your dream job when you don't know what to do? That you could say something like, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm easily earning, and pick a number, what you would love to be earning. And I'm doing work that is absolutely, completely fulfilling. And I love what I do. I do what I love and I love what I do. I do what I love and I love what I do. You can make it short. You can make it long. Doesn't matter. The point is just see yourself earning the kind of money you'd love to earn. Make sure you include that part. I've seen people pursue a dream job, but they didn't focus on the earning part, got the job and didn't make much money. So then they were frustrated because they didn't have the money to support their lifestyle. So I am so happy and grateful now that I'm easily earning, and declare what that is, while I'm doing work that's deeply meaningful and I'm having a lot of fun. Something like that. That's what I would suggest for you. The next question is from Jose. Anyways, I've been writing my affirmation or goal for a year already, but can't get the feeling of already having it. Well, yes, you can, but if you declare that you can't, you can't. So you're just in your own way. And that's not something that's isolated just for you. It's everyone gets in their own way. So stop saying you can't get in the feeling. You can get in the feeling like that. We just did it a few minutes ago. You can choose to get into the feeling. So what is the feeling of earning $300K a year? That's up to you. What would it feel like for you? Like for me, I'd be disappointed if I was earning $300K a year. That's not my goal. But so for somebody else that's not earned that or hasn't earned that, it may feel pretty awesome. It may feel free. It may feel exciting. So you decide. How do I get that conviction? You've got to reaffirm it, reaffirm it, reaffirm it, reaffirm it until you're earning 300K a year. So it takes time. It takes discipline. It's going to take you affirming this and knowing it and practicing using your imagination. Everyone can do this. Absolutely everyone can do this. So are you going to do it, Jose? Let me know, okay? The next question that I have is from Amy. And Amy is saying, I find it easier to manifest material things like a dream car or a house, but more challenging to manifest specific money goals. Any tips? Sure. Well, the money, like when we want money, like money doesn't really do anything for us. We accept it allows us to live better. We've got the freedom, right? Much more freedom. So in order for you to manifest money, and I have a money goal. That's the goal that I have on my goal card. And my friend Phil Goldfine, his goal is a money goal as well. But when you think about the money, it's not necessarily the money that people want. It's what the money can do for their life, right? For their lifestyle. So if you're somebody who's very passionate about giving money away, or you're very passionate about living in a beautiful home, or you're very passionate about traveling first class, or you're very passionate about having really nice clothing or beautiful jewelry or whatever, then that's great. So you got to associate for you, because it's an individual thing. You've got to associate for you. What does it mean for you to have this money? Start to see what you're going to be doing with that money. Start to see what it looks like in your bank account. So I have one of the things that I look at every single day as part of my daily practice, which is a discipline that I've become habitual at, is I look at my sales report, my investment account statements, and my bank statements every single day. And they're a mock-up. So what I did was I went online, I take the logo from the bank, and I'll take my account numbers, and I'll do a mock-up of what my goal is, but as if it's already here right now. It makes it more vividly real. And one of the things that I've learned is the more you can feel your goal as if it's vividly real, like really seeing the manifestation of that as if it's in your life right now, the better it's going to go for you. So in other words, what would you be seeing? What would you be saying? What would you be feeling? What would you be doing? What would you be hearing were you manifesting your goal, your goals in your life right now? You've got to actively imagine it. And you want to make those senses vividly real. So if I said to you right now, I want you to imagine that I have a rose in my hand. I don't have a rose here right now, but let's say I have a rose in my hand. And if you can imagine that rose, it's a red rose and it's very soft. And if you've ever touched a rose, you'll notice how soft the petals are. You put it to your nose, it has a wonderful fragrance, right? What are we doing right now? We're imagining we're holding a rose and smelling a rose, right? All we did, there's no rose here. I don't have a rose here. All we did was we tapped into our imagination. So when you're looking at it's easier to manifest things that you can touch and you can feel, but you can do the same thing with money. You see it in your bank account. And then, so as you're going to sleep tonight, you just say to yourself, now that I have all this money, how do I feel? How do I feel? What do you see? You're probably going to go to sleep pretty darn relaxed, right? Knowing that you have all that money. You want to feel as if you already have that money, as if it's already yours, and you want to live from that place. So maybe you'd be online looking at certain things, right? Like one of the things that I love is I love real estate. I love investing in real estate. So I go looking at properties that I'm going to invest in. So that's an act as if experience. So those are the things that I would suggest for you. All right. Yes. Seer says, hi, Peggy. I turned my Power Life script into a subliminal. Are subliminals as effective as normal affirmations? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe. What I like about non-subliminals, so just affirmations, is that they're going in your subconscious mind. But the other part that I love about affirmations in a Power Life script is because it's an active experience, because as you're saying the words and you're aware of the words, you're seeing it unfold in your mind, right? You're using your imagination. You're being creative in that experience. With subliminals, I'll put on a subliminal. Like let's say I put on my Power Life script as a subliminal. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything. Like when you see me walking around with my little earbuds in, today I was actually had it on speaker because I'm alone in the house today. And I'm listening to my Power Life script. I'm walking around with a big smile on my face because I'm aware of what the words are. I'm aware of the scene and the scenery and what I'm actually experiencing, knowing that I'm already living that life. So my preference would be to not use subliminals. And that's the reason why. Okay, Bettina says, how do you handle several goals at the same time? I have several goals at the same time. What I do is I put them all in my Power Life script as if they've all unfolded. Now, they're all in harmony with each other. They're all synergistic with each other. There's no conflict there. In other words, I'm not saying that I live in Ottawa and yet I also live somewhere else. So it's all the same. So you got to think about your ideal life, like what would you love to be experiencing in your life? And that's what you script. And so your script could include all kinds of things. That include things that are relevant to your health, to your physical appearance. It could be to your finances, to your investments, to your income, to your net worth, to things you want to buy. It could be to your dream home, to your vehicle, to your relationships, travel, anything and everything, your career, what you're doing in your career, anything and everything. All right. The next question is, Vinny says, Peggy, I'm invested in $1 million a month and I'm not sure what to create my program around. I study personal development, but have not reached any goals. I do not feel that I'm qualified to teach PD, which is personal development. Well, that belief is going to hold you back. Get rid of that. Like if you're someone who has a really good understanding of this, it could be that your paradigm's simply in your way. So Vinny, it sounds like what you love is personal development. And if so, think about an area or an aspect of personal development that you would love to teach, and that could be the program that you do. The other thing is in $1 million a month, and by the way, for those of you who are not familiar with what $1 million a month is, it's a program that we have that we offer through our business that teaches you how you can earn $1 million a month or more if that's something that you desire. But I do suggest you find something that you're passionate about. And Vinny knows what Vinny's passionate about. Vinny's passionate about personal development. It's a great place to be. It's a great industry to be in. One of the reasons is, number one, you're passionate about it. Number two, there's a deep need for it, huge need for it in this world. And number three, the more you work in this industry, the more you help others, the better it's going to go for you. It's going to be a very, very positive experience for you. All right, the next question is, I was thinking of teaching self-image as mine has changed so much. What do you think of this? Absolutely, Vinny. You know, I love that you're asking that question, Vinny, because a number of years ago, I was doing a program called $1 million a month. And it was a very popular program. And I remember doing an extensive study on what it is that people really want. What are people's needs? What are their desires? And what we discovered is the number one thing that people really, really want is to have more confidence, to feel better about themselves, to have an increased level of self-esteem. So absolutely, Vinny, you're onto a winning idea, a winning subject, and I would suggest that you follow through on that. Okay, so Rod has a great question here. I love this. This is a great question. Rod is saying, what's your best process for staying focused and concentrated, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed with a task? Thank you, Manifesting Milts. Thank you. Okay, so what is my best process for staying focused and concentrated when you're feeling overwhelmed? How do you stay in a high vibration in this scenario? Well, I'll breathe, practice some breathing techniques. I'll relax and I get focused only on the outcome. If I need help, I'll get help. But really the process of being focused and concentrating is seeing the outcome, seeing it already done, seeing it unfold and already done, like it's already unfolded before my eyes, knowing that it's already done. So in my business, like as many of you know, we've got a lot of different programs. I've got my author program, $1 million a month. We got Power Life Script. We got mini Power Scripts. We got Way to Riches. We're doing this Masters Manifesting event. I've got another high-end program. We're looking to launch another membership site this month. I've got Pure Magic Monthly. And we're going to be doing a couple live events, which I booked a hotel for today. And so I got a lot going on, but I remain calm. I did not used to. And as a matter of fact, I think I was losing my hair because I was stressed. I just, wasn't handling it as effectively as I am today. So a couple of the things that I did and I do is I have a team. So now I have a wonderful, amazing, incredible, off the charts, exceptional team. Celine is part of my team, thank God. and Trace and Eric and Kayla and Sabrina. I mean, I've surrounded myself with these incredible people. So sometimes, outsourcing some things, getting people on board to help you, to work with you, can help. Another thing is you might want to get a mentor and have a mentor guide you. Another thing that I do is I have an accountability partner, and I send my list all the time to my accountability partner on the things that I will accomplish this week. And then I send an update the following week. Every day I get on, thank you, Celine. Every day I get on a call with Phil Goldfine and Anders Hansen. They're two of my daily accountability partners. We were on the phone early this morning. And what we do is we read a little bit. So we do a little study. We declare our goal as if it's already done. And then we talk about what we're doing today that's taken us in the direction of their goals. So that invites me to stay focused and stay organized. Can I be on your team? I don't know. Maybe we probably need some help. JD Jovic. I'm not sure what your name is, but I like that you asked. I think that's impressive. Okay, Maxine is asking a great question here. I'm going to take these next two questions. We'll call it a wrap, and I'm going to be back with you again later this week. I think, Lindy says Anders is my mentor. Wonderful. We're going to be back together in 2 days. So Maxine is asking the question, what is the bank statement exercise? All right, now I do this with 3 statements, but let's use the bank as an example. Now in Canada, we've got CIBC, TD Bank, Royal Bank, Scotia Bank. We've got a number of different banks in our country. And so I deal with 2 of those. I deal with one bank for the business. I deal with another bank personally. So what I did was I went online to my account in one of these banks, and I did a copy paste. So I put my cursor in the top left-hand corner so I could get the logo. And then I highlighted the area that included my bank account numbers. I copied it, pasted it into a Word document, and then modified the balance that's in the accounts. And I print it on my printer, and I laminate it because I have a laminator. And then I look at it every day, but I don't just look at it. I become emotionally involved in it, right? I'm seeing it as if it's already done. And I've done that with my business bank accounts. I've done it with my personal bank accounts. I've done it with my investment report. And I also have our sales report as well. And they're all mocked up. They're for my eyes only. It's not something I'm doing that's fraudulent. It's just for me. It's a visualization exercise. So every morning I will look at them. It's the first thing I grab actually before I even go into my gratitude journal, and I look at them and I just invest time with it. And I look at it and I get emotionally involved in it, knowing that it's already done. And it's planted. By doing that over and over again, it plants that seed of an idea into your subconscious mind, and it will manifest into form, but you got to become emotionally involved in it. Okay, and Yasir says, how can a person change their personality? Example, how to be more funny, friendly, confident, social, etc. Well, there's a number of different ways. Like funny, like today before we got on the call, I was actually reading from this calendar that my son gave me for Christmas. And I like sharing jokes and telling stories. And this particular one is called Jokes You Can't Tell Your Mother. And it was from my son to me. So jokes you can't tell your mother. Now I can't use these. They're not clean and they're not appropriate, but I was looking at them this morning. And what I'll do with jokes or with humor is I'll look up jokes. I have a whole shelf full of joke books, and I'll use them in my presentations or when I'm speaking or at live events. And so that's an effort to practice incorporating humor, right? If you're someone who's looking to be more social, well, you can just learn, how can I be more social? Like going into a room and starting up a conversation and just getting out there. Like it's a matter of, doing something that you wouldn't normally do. And friendly, same thing. If you want to experience more friends, be friendly with someone else. I'm going to give you an excellent example of this. On the weekend, we had Brian Proctor, who's a very close friend of mine, come to my event, and he spoke. And he was talking about when he was a young man and he got into sales, and his father, Bob Proctor, who knows sales very well, who's very good at sales, was giving Brian some advice. And Brian said, what is the one thing that you can teach me about sales that'll really make a difference in my results? And Bob said, well, that's easy. Here's what you're going to do. Whenever you go to meet with anyone, prospect, client, anyone, when you meet with them, what I suggest that you do is imagine that they have the initials MMFI across their forehead. MMFI, which stands for Make Me Feel Important. And then you make them feel important. It's like in the book, Science of Getting Rich, there's a chapter there called The Impression of Increase, which is about leaving people feeling better or better off from being in your presence. Do things like that. You know, yesterday I was flying home from Florida, and there was a flight attendant, or I guess she was a gate agent, I believe is what they're called, who was taking the tickets from everyone as they were boarding the plane. And I was first. I was in zone 1, sitting in first class, and handed her my ticket. And I said to her, I said, "You have beautiful hair." And she had this gorgeous wavy hair. And she was an elderly lady. And she had this big smile on her face. And I said, "People tell you that, you know, all the time?" And she said, "Well, no, not really. But I could tell it made her feel good." And I genuinely felt she had nice hair. And so you can do things like that. Do it with complete strangers. I was somewhere else, I think the day before, and trying to remember where I was. And there was a woman, an elderly woman again, and she had a really nice smile. And I told her, I said, "Hey, you have a really nice smile." And she's like, "Thank you." And you can do little things for people to cause them to feel better. So start just doing little things, little practices that are going to have you being more friendly and more confident and feeling, and what was the other one? And social. It's just, and funny. Just start to do those things. You can watch funny shows, like watch comedians. You can read funny books or humor books. And so I actually focus attention on it. I study humor as well. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it a wrap today. I've addressed all the questions that are on. We usually go about 30 minutes. We went a little bit longer today, but that's all good. I'm happy to be here to serve you guys. We're going to be back again. I believe it's Thursday, if my memory serves me correctly. Let me just verify. Yes, it is. It's Thursday. We're going to be back again to share with you, do some teaching with you, and address any questions that you may have. So I'm delighted to be with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you again in a couple days. All right, everyone, have yourself a wonderful day. Okay, bye-bye for now.